Oh my God! What an absolute calamity! Going everyone, it's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with a little match reaction for you for the Everton versus United game, which has just finished 4 fucking nil to the Toffees at Goodison in the Premier League. It's an absolute calamity. It's an absolute embarrassment. The players out there, they all want sacking. Let's take all. The club need to stop the wages this week. Donate it to a local children's charity or something, because those wankers out there don't deserve paying a penny for these recent performances, especially that today against Everton. You know, Everton are not a bad side, but it's like we didn't even turn up. We weren't even at the races. We were second to everything. This is Everton. We're supposed to be United on the road. It's a disgrace, man. That performance is an absolute disgrace. One of the worst I've ever seen in my life. And it's down to the players that we've got, frankly. I mean, Ole Gunnar, he did a tremendous job. These players got what they wanted at the end of the day. They got rid of Jose Mourinho. He was supposed to be the negative effect on United. He was supposed to be the problem lurking in the dressing room that was causing all this friction, all these problems out there on the pitch. But no, it just turns out that they're actually a bunch of spineless wankers. The lot of them. Paul Pogba. You know, there's Lukaku. What's he done? Martial was absolutely farcical today, mate. Anthony freaking Martial. He's useless, that man, sometimes. I don't get it. Half the players we've got in this team need to go. We need to improve. We need to get characters in there. We need to get non-butlers in there. Because all we've got is a bunch of serious melt jobs at the moment. People that don't deserve to be wearing that shirt. People that don't deserve to be anywhere near the starting 11 of a Manchester United side. I mean, that back four is atrocious, man. Any of the back four, if any other team in the league had that back four, they'd be in the same situation as us right now. Because we leak goals. I think there's 11 games on the bounce now that we conceded in every single game. The back four shite, leaking goals left, right and centre. Why is that? Maybe because we've got Jones and Smalling and people like that. Maybe because we're playing Lindelof at right back and stuff like that, which doesn't really make sense. There's all sorts of issues with Manchester United's backline, most of which we've got bloody Phil No Bones and Chris Smalldong in there. People like that. I mean, it's just obviously the problem. Everybody knows that. We've had those guys for years at the club. 6 years, 8 years, don't know how many years. Freaking feels like 10 decades, man. That's a century. Because that's how long they've been at the club. And what have they actually done in that time? Yeah, they've had some decent seasons here and there, but they're not up to the standard. It's not like they've ever done great in Europe. It's not like they're ever in team of the years or anything. They're not top quality players. But that's our back line. Are we just going to stick with that? Is Ed Woodward, Mr. Potato Head himself, going to stick with that? Or is he going to slap himself in the face in the summer and make some decisions and get rid of people, move people on, bring people in, spend money? That's what we need to do, unfortunately. We need a complete overhaul. It's crazy to say that, but obviously we're not good enough. Obviously the people we've got in there are not good enough. The characters are not strong enough. We need leaders in there. We don't have it. We've just got a complete bunch of bottlers. And if we did go out there, spend some money, if Woodward sorted himself out, and more importantly, got rid of the dead wood at the club. There's so many players that don't deserve to be here. Like I say, Jones, Smalling. I mean, Herrera's on about leaving. Quite frankly, he can do one. Matic, Twatic. I mean, come on, he's not really, it's not really a great player for Manchester United. Pogba, he's on an absolute fortune. Is he worth the money that we pay him? Absolutely not. Not for a 10-game spell of greatness and then a complete mediocre mess of shite around that. It's not worth it. Lukaku, same deal. Expensive. Sanchez, even more so. What has he done? Nothing. Apart from looking like Bruno Mars, nothing. He does nothing for Manchester United. He just festers away. He festers away at United. I think these players, if they went to a different club across Europe, there's talk about Pogba going with Zidane and stuff like that. Please, come on, Zinedine! Get him! That's what I would like, even if we have to take a loss on it, just to get the players off the books, to free up money to allow us to bring top quality players in, players with characters. I'm not saying they're not top quality players. I believe Pogba could go somewhere like that and be amazing again, like he was at Juventus. But for whatever reason, he's not a Manchester United player. It just doesn't fit in there. It's not the relationship that it should be, in my opinion. And I'm not just piling on Paul Pogba here. There's loads of players who are absolutely shit today and have been shit recently. Basically all of them. I'm saying get rid of most of these players because they're all not up to the standard, to be honest. There's some that I'd keep, obviously. I know David De Gea has been like a complete joker recently. What's he been doing between the sticks, making errors all over the place again today? The man is a calamity at the moment. Forget Calamity James. We've got freaking Calamity David in between the sticks. Or David James. Anyway. It's just gashtastic. We need wholesale changes, but we need to keep a few of the quality players. Of course, Rashford's been Gashford recently, hasn't he? But he's still got a lot of potential. We have still seen stuff from him in the past. He's still young. He's still developing. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. And then we've got players like Dallo, who are young. McTominay, who's come on leaps and bounds recently, who's young, got a good future ahead of him. But other than that, man, I am pretty much struggling to see who would be absolutely necessary to keep at Manchester United for the progression of this football club. I think we could get rid of pretty much all of them, and it's only really going to benefit the club if we can go out there and get someone in there in that position, obviously, who is up to the task, who does have the bottle, who does have the character, and obviously has got the technical ability. We need that at Manchester United. We need great players. We don't have that right now, unfortunately. We have got some great talents in the side who just turn up whenever they want. Whenever they feel like it, they just appear in the pitch there like freaking David Blaine or something, and they put in a performance. But most of the time, they're just stinking up the place. Most of the time, they're not doing anything for the club. Oh my days, top four gone. We're nowhere near Champions League. Arsenal, Chelsea, they're licking their chops. They're laughing their heads off. They're loving this. And rightfully so. United have been terrible. We've thrown this away this season now. Ole Gunnar came in, he saved us. It was up to the players now. It was up to the players to go on and show what they can do and fight for maybe their place in the team next season, because of course changes are going to be made at the end of the season regardless. And they can fight and show what they can do for this club between now and the end of the season. But unfortunately, we've got a bunch of little miniature nutbags in there who just cannot put up a fight. Who cannot put up a fight and perform and show what it's all about to be a Manchester United player. Probably because they're not United players. Jones this morning, ship him off to Sunderland. Pogba, come on. Ala Madrid, come and get him. Lukaku, Everton, you just battered us 4-0. You probably don't need him, but do you want him back? He scored 26 goals for you every season. Scored 26 goals for you guys. Couldn't do shit all for us, though. I mean, he is obviously a good player. That's what hurts me. It's just not happening for these people at Manchester United. Rashford's obviously crying out to play up top there. Ollie maybe has made a couple of bad errors, bad selections today, in my opinion. Obviously, it's easy to say that. But I'm not going to criticise him too much because I still believe that this club, this festering turd of a squad that we've got, is still the remnants, the rotting remnants of Jose, Louis, and we've even got players that are still playing back from Sir Alex Ferguson's side. Sir Alex signed De Gea and Smalling and Jones and a couple of other people. I think maybe Valencia. Yeah, definitely Valencia. Obviously, he's at the end of his Manchester United time, but. It's not like this is Ole Gunnar's side. What I'd like to see is a complete overhaul at Manchester United, because that's what the club needs. Get rid of most of these players. Get rid of literally 11, 12, 13 players. Get rid of a lot of them, basically. Keep a handful of good players. I know it's easy to say that, and it's a whole bunch of movement, and does that really set you up properly for the next season? Maybe that's too extreme, but certainly 7 players. 7 players should be on the way out in the summer. 11 players if I had my way, but I know how football works. United are not going to go out there and sign 11 top quality players. Although we may be able to recoup a lot of that money, but people like Paul Pogba, we're not going to get the money that we paid for him because he's evidently shit. So nobody's going to come in. There needs to be some sort of an appeal for a club to actually come and sign a player. But I do think that maybe Madrid, maybe somebody like that, it could happen. And would I take a loss on it? Yes, I would. Are we talking a silly loss? No, but 50, 60 million pounds for a top quality player, 300k a week off the books, frees up that money, gives you more in the transfer kitty. What has he done for us? I'd rather see youth given a chance, to be honest. And there's a whole bunch of other players, of course, that are just completely shite and need to be sent on the way out. Everybody who's tuning in there, I've just seen the amount of viewers in here. Thanks for stopping by on the channel. Do us a favour if you're in here, smash that like button. Share in the pain that is Manchester United at the moment. Get your thoughts and opinions and comments in below in the comment section. I'll try and read out as many as I can, before I go, obviously. But let's go into your comments now. Obviously, it's a gutter of a performance that leaves us in a shocking position in the Premier League. What do you guys think about it? Can we get back in there? I really don't think that we can now. I just think that this season's just over, pretty much. We've got to just accept that we've got awful players, accept that it's not Ole Gunnar's fault at this stage. He did a tremendous job to galvanise the side and get us back, back to that Manchester United in a short space of time. But really, I think it's a lot down to these prima donna melters that we've got. People like Pogba who are trying to prove a point, and they play when they're up for it. They really do. When Pogba was trying to prove that Jose was the worst coach of all time, he was the best player in the world for about 6 or 7 games. But as soon as that has worn off, then, I don't know what it takes to motivate him. That's just what it is. I just think that there's a lack of desire out there on the pitch from him, and a lot of the other players as well. We're lacking desire, we're lacking character, we're lacking leaders. Like I keep saying, if we have leaders out there on the pitch, just a few of them, it really does free up the talents of the rest of the side. It allows that character, it allows somebody to take the game by the scruff of the neck, play a killer through ball, like a Paul Scholes was. He was a fantastic leader with the way that he just distributed the ball like a wand. He's just playing people in, putting the ball in front of people, making them make that run, making us go forward. And then people like Roy Keane just absolutely bossing it, organisation, barking at people, challengers, blocks, all over the gaff. That sort of bulldog as well is another type of leader, or the Zlatan leader up top there who's just banging them in for fun, or the Cantona leader up there. So there's so many ways you can get these players in the side, but unfortunately we don't really have any of those players right now. We've just got a bunch of losers, quite frankly, a bunch of people who are not really Manchester United quality, who don't fit the criteria of having that winning mentality at the side of the club anyway. Right, guys, I'm going to go through the comments. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. Let's see what you guys think about it. Rubel says, boycott Man United, simple. Well, maybe that would be one way to get Woodward and gang in action. I say sack Potato Head if he can't get his acting gear this summer. It's time for you, pal, to face the chop if you don't actually seriously do something in the window. Do your job. Move some people on, get some people in. But I disagree with you. You've got to keep supporting the club regardless. Oh no, I'm going to sneeze. You see what United do to me? I'm freaking allergic to these poor performances. Yeah, Biggie Smalls comments and says, making Walcott look good. That's how bad Manchester United are at the moment. Walcott gets on the score sheet. Where has he even been for the last couple of years? So yeah, I agree with you there, man. Super chat here from Alex Rincon. How's it going, Alex? Thanks so much for stopping by on the channel. Comments that says, won't change until Woodward and the Glazers leave. Wake up, fans. Bring back the Woodward outplane. Fair play, Rinconator. I feel you there, pal, because a lot of this is obviously the management of the club at the upper level. It's about them running it as a business, sucking money out of the club. Are they really truly investing 100% of what we get back into Manchester United? The answer to that is absolutely not. Obviously, the shareholders, dividends, all that sort of stuff. They're the owners. They're siphoning money out of the club effectively. They bought it with debt money, and now they are obviously they're paying that debt off, and they are servicing it, and they're servicing themselves, and they're running it as a business, and they're smart businessmen. It's not like they haven't invested over the last few years. We've spent a shitload of money, a criminal amount of money for what we've got for it, really. So maybe you can see why they're sort of not really willing to invest, because it's just not happening out there on the pitch. But the fact of the matter is, if we had the right owners or obviously management up there who are prepared to allow us to spend the money that's required, then who knows? Then, if we had like an oligarch like Chelsea do or like City do, maybe it would be different. I know it would be different. We are slightly shackled by that debt, slightly shackled by the people that own the club and run the club. And yeah, I feel you. Ed Woodward, this is the make or break time for him this summer. We've said it a lot of times before. We've all been disappointed by his activities in the windows. And now it's on him to do something big for this club in this window. We do need wholesale changes. We do need players moved out of the club. He's got to speak to clubs. He's got to obviously, arrange most of these deals and stuff like that. So he's got a lot of work to do. And if he doesn't do that, then absolutely we need somebody who can manage this club, who can, or do the, all the upstairs work properly. Because right now it's evident that we don't have owners that are 100% invested in the club, because I don't think we do. We've just got owners that are using it as obviously a business and investment for themselves, but it's not like it's fan owned or it's owned by somebody who truly loves the club, or owned by just a ridiculous billionaire like City is, and it's just this little toy, and it really doesn't matter because money's just nothing to these people. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Alex. We do need change at the club. If that were to happen, it would be absolutely amazing. If somebody, I don't know, a true passionate fan of Manchester United who's a complete oligarch billionaire, just wanted to buy the club off the Glazers, I think that would be a blessing for Manchester United. I do. So it's not like we've got this great affinity to the Glazers. It's not like they've done us truly wrong over the years. We did have successful times with them under Sir Alex Ferguson, and they have put their hands in their pockets reasonable amount of times. We have spent a few hundred million, over the last few years. Jose spent a significant amount of money at the club. But still, it's just not enough. It's not quite enough to compete with the likes of City and even Liverpool in recent years who have been spending big. So there's big problems at United in the management department. Sort your freaking lives out. Mr. Potato Head yourself. It's time you did some work. Otherwise, you're going to get skinned, pal. That's it. We're going to remove that skin from that potato and make freaking fries out of it. Marshall Growler, how's it going, Marshall? Commenter says, fat cats living large, kicking it about on game day. Disgusting, disgraceful non-effort. You're right, their wages should be withheld and donated. Totally, Marshall. Thanks very much for backing up what I said there. They don't deserve to be paid. They're paid a ridiculous amount of money as it is. Let's not get into economics, but it is just insane the amount of money that they get paid. And do they deserve it? I would love it if we could bring back pay-as-you-earn type contracts where players are brought in and based on performance, based on what they do in the game, based on how they've done, then they get paid when they win, all that sort of stuff. That was great. I mean, my great-grandfather actually played for 2 professional football clubs, Bradford, something, they were called something else, not Bradford City, it's got Bradford Park Avenue, and also Leicester City back in the day. We're talking like 19, back in the freaking day here. And if they lost or drew, they basically got the tram money home, and if they won, they got a sovereign, which at the time obviously was not that great, but that was pretty good. But at the time, so anyway, that is how it freaking should be, man. These people should be performing out there, and if they're not performing, they should have something to answer for. They should have to, have money withheld. That's my personal opinion. That's how bad they are anyway. Oh, thank you very much for your comment there, Marshall. Much appreciated for your comment. Everybody who's tuning in here right now, get your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Hit that like button if you're new to the channel. If you just stumbled across this, what we do, we dissect Manchester United and how unbelievably fantastic they are at the moment on this channel. And we also just talk about football in general and and have a bit of bounce. Kizil B comments and says, Ollie has been tactically inept, only parked the bus counter-attack, nothing has changed, no direction. Well, Kissel, based on recent form, I'd have to say that we have actually gone back to the Louis van Gaal days. Today, we're passing it around the back so freaking slowly, inviting pressure onto ourselves. It was like Jose, it was like Louis, it was awful, man. Tactically inept maybe is the word. I don't get if that's necessarily the way that we've gone about it. I just think that the players didn't know what to do with it. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has maybe set the team up wrong, and it's definitely not worked, because what we should be doing is what we did when he first took over, which is just going for it, which is getting balls forward, getting balls down the wing, using our pace, getting runners in behind, getting balls in behind, getting balls over the top. Just attacking, basically. Maybe leaving yourself open a little bit at the back, and maybe that's what we were trying not to do. But unfortunately, the Jose factor happened today, which is trying to play defensive when you haven't got the defensive players in order to do it. You've just got a pile of wank at the back. That is the Jose system at Manchester United. And fair enough if you've got, Maldini at the back, but we don't. We've got Smaldini. And unfortunately, he's not up to the standard. Jones, etc. So, So, yeah, I think that we did get it wrong today. Ollie should be going for it. The team should be going for it. But is he really setting them up to play like that, to defend, to pass it around the back slowly? I find that hard to believe. Why would he do that? Okay, we're away from home against Goodison. We're playing defensively slow, trying to hit them swift on the counter. It doesn't work. So what are we going to do? You've got to get at them. You've got to mix it up earlier. It was not a good managerial display from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer today. The freaking Scandinavian golem at it again, making errors. Wally Gunner. No, listen, I love Ole Gunnar. I want to see him given a full season. Everybody getting on the old Ole Gunnar out train already, man. Sort your freaking selves out, lads and lasses out there. He's barely had the time. He's still dealing with these awful players from the old days. We need change. We need money. We need investment. Let's at least give him a fair crack at the whip. Let's give him the transfer window. Let Mr. Potato Head spend big. Let's sell players, move players on. Let him have an effect on the team, change the team. And if he doesn't want to do that, if he wants to stick with Jones and Smalling, then we criticise. Then obviously if it doesn't work out next season, you've got to look at it for what it is, which is obviously Manchester United have to perform. Depending on what's going on, if we're really subpar in terms of both performance and results, come Christmas time, there will be a big amount of pressure on him because he is inexperienced in football management. But from what we've seen from him early on, he did very, very well. I love the way he handles himself. I think he's a great man for the job. Let's at least see what he does with the full season. We're still dealing with the remnants of Jose's season here. Jose's team, Jose's signings, Jose's tactics still having an effect, you might argue, because that's what they've been drilled into them for all that time that he's been there for 3 years. So, he's got a lot of work to do, both in terms of coaching and in terms of bringing players in and getting players out in the summer. We need to do that, but I'm 100% happy with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to start next season. I am. At least give him a go. He's a true legend of the club. I don't want to put any pressure on Ole Gunnar right now because I don't think he deserves it. I think he's done a tremendous job as it is. It's not like he's done terrible. Okay, recently we have been awful, but I think it's a lot down to the players. They need to show that character. It's like, the season's over now. They just can't be asked, man. And I can't believe they're performing like we did against Everton today, knowing that we are fighting for top 4, knowing some of the other results that happened at Spurs and, Chelsea, Arsenal coming up. We've got big games coming up, man. City on Wednesday, man. I mean, come on. We're having mares. This was a must-win for us, really. So to go there, get battered and trounced 4-0 the way we did, absolutely embarrassed and demolished by the Toffees, a good average side, is a disgrace. It's a disgrace to every Manchester United fan out there because these people out there are out there on the pitch running around for £300,000 a week. And really, realistically, they don't deserve 30 grand a week for those performances. You could get championship players that you could stick in and they'd have more guile and bottle and leadership and character and fight to get back into that game than those losers out there did. So I say get rid of the freaking lot of them anyway. Everybody, let's go back into the comments here. Gungshi in the house for the super chat. Thank you so much for stopping by on the channel, Gungshi. You're a legend. He comments and says, I can't remember the last time I saw such a gutless performance from United. 2 seconds, just need to moisture out my lips there. The whole team looks disjointed and apathetic. We need a team that cares that they play for United and are capable of working as a team. Oh, you've just said it in a nutshell there, Gungshi. We don't have players like that at the moment. We've not got enough of those players anyway. Obviously, David De Gea has been awful recently, but he's a world-class goalkeeper. I'd expect him, with a quality team in front of him, to be crucial for us, to be really, really great for us, to have great input for the side. So he's one player that I'd keep. Rashford's good and young. Other than that, he's not had a great season so far. He has had glimpses of absolute majesty, but at times he's been pretty damn average, like today. So, there's not that many players. Obviously, the young players, McTominay, Dalot, absolutely. Luke Shaw, I've seen enough from him to know that I want to see more from him in the United shirt, but anybody else, really. And maybe Fred's have not had a fair crack of the whip, maybe with a different coach, with different players around him. Sorry, not different coach, different coaching style, obviously, that's happening in the summer. And just generally for the start of next season with new players in, new players around him, maybe we could just see a new Fred. But other than that, I just think they're all absolutely shite, Gungshi. So I'm with you. I do think we need to make a big change. We need players, more importantly, like you say, that care, that they're playing for United. I don't doubt that people like Rashford care because obviously he's Manc born bred, but people like Lingard, man, people like frickin' Pogba, do they really 100% care? Alexis Sanchez don't care. Alexis Sanchez is getting paid regardless, man. He doesn't get his wages donated to a local children's charity if he performs awfully or doesn't play or just sits there festering away like the Bruno Mars turd that he is. No, he still gets paid the same, something like £500,000 a week. And after tax, he gets something like £250,000 a week to play this badly. Or as badly as he has done, at least for Manchester United. And then people like Pogba, 300k a week, World Cup winner, amazing for Juventus, shown in glimpses for United what he can do. Don't care. He Andy Tates it every single week. Don't care. He freaking don't care, does he? Sometimes he cares. If he's got a point to prove, if he's up for it, if he's motivated. Same problem with Jose. I used to criticise Jose. And people used to criticise Jose about motivating Paul Pogba and he just didn't rev him up. You didn't get him motivated. But Pogba's got to motivate himself at this level now. He got rid of the man he didn't like. Surely Ole Gunnar is somebody who who he should be happy that is at Manchester United now, fighting for. So I don't think that argument really holds any ground. But yeah, that's the most important thing, Gungshi. I'd much rather have a team. I'd much rather have a good character-filled team that are really passionate, that really love the club, that really love what they're doing, who they're playing for, wearing that red shirt, and are prepared to fight for the win every single week. Whether they've got all the ability and skills in the world is another question. I don't think that's as important sometimes. Paul Pogba, in terms of technique and ability out there on the pitch, we absolutely trounce Everton. We do. They've got good technicians in there, absolutely. But United have got some quality players, absolutely, in terms of what they can do with the football. But in terms of character, in terms of bottle and going for it, I don't think we could really match Everton today. They were bang up for it. They were going for it. They were prepared to fight. And they just built on their momentum and kept on going. And United just didn't have an answer for it. They knew we were there for the taking today, and they absolutely had their way with us. So say what you want, but yeah, United need to make big changes. Thank you so much for your super chat there, Gungshi. Much appreciated you getting involved on the channel and having your say. Thank you so much for stopping by as usual here. Comment from Mr. Armez 2001. United doing poor. Solution, spend more money. Smiley face. Well, in all honesty, we have spent a shitload of money. I know what you're sort of saying there with that sarcastic comment, but we do need to spend money because we don't have the players at the club. We can recoup money from selling a lot of these players if we're prepared to do that, if the board are, which I think that we should do, because none of these players deserve to be representing Manchester United week in, week out. None of them, pretty much. Comment here from R Kings. What is the problem, actually? The same players under won like 9 games in a row. What happens now? Pressure, money. I think it's really strange, isn't it? I can see why Manchester United were not too quick on announcing Ole Gunnar's appointment as Manchester United manager permanently, because obviously when they did that, it did actually upset things. Whether or not it's just a complete mentality flip that happens in the players, I don't really know. It's like they've not got this pressure on. They're not sure if Ole Gunnar's staying at the end of the season. They're just going out there. They're free. Ole Gunnar's like, come on, lads, just enjoy it. Just go out there, enjoy it. But now things are getting serious. Now he's got the permanent job. As soon as that announcement happened, we've been awful basically after that. So I think it's like a psychological thing with these players. We have players that are only really up for performing motivated 100% under certain circumstances. A lot of these players, and I think that's just obviously wrong for a club like Manchester United to have players like that. Too many players, a lot of players. Jones, Smalling, there's people like, Matic, who are absolutely awful. Marcia was just absolutely ludicrously bad today. He's supposed to be Thierry Henry, isn't he, by now? Hang on, when we got him, he was supposed to be the next Thierry Henry. And he's shown absolutely Henry-esque moments at times. He truly has, which is all the more befuddling why he's not progressed into that player consistently for us and why he's putting in performances like he did today, because that's a laughable performance from him. Stick me in the shirt today, I'd have done a better job, and I'm not even joking, man. Within reason, 9 out of 10. But yeah, so it's a big shame that we have such players that don't have the bollocks, that don't have the bottle, that don't have the spine to be able to lead this side and grab a game and change a game and fight back from a bad situation. We've done it a couple of times in the past. Great! Shouldn't be getting ourselves in those situations anyway, but really it does boil down to the fact that we've just got bad players at the club. If we did move on the likes of Jones, Smalling, who, by the way, have been at the club for ages, and bring in new players, new quality players, new really good European standard players, then maybe you just see overnight Manchester United improve a lot, because obviously it is down to the personnel to a degree. If you've got melt jobs like Jones in there, you're going to have issues. It's just a fact. And if we did have quality in there, you'd probably see an instant change and leaders and people who are a little bit nasty. People like Sergio Ramos is a fine example. Centre-back, you're not going to sign him because we don't have Champions League football next season, basically. Because we couldn't get into the top 4, because we couldn't go away to Goodison Park and beat those toffee melters. That's why. Not only not beat them, get absolutely annihilated by them and embarrassed. So we really are in a state of affairs at this football club right now, lads. Steve Johnson with a cheeky little super chat. Thanks for stopping by here, Steve. Comments, pig, what the fuck was that? Shocking. I 100% agree, mate. I mean, what an atrocious display it was. I've never seen anything like it, really. We just basically bent over. The midfield were awful, man. The defence was awful. The attack was awful. The goalie was awful. It was like one of those, everybody was awful. How is that possible with a team filled with players that are paid as much money as they are? How is that even possible? I don't even know how that's possible that they can play that badly, but they did. Claimant 92 comments, Ollie will be sacked by November. Let's give him a fair crack at the whip, lad. I've spoken about it earlier on in the video. I'm not going to do it again, but let's give it a fair crack at the whip, okay? Give him a start of a season. Give him the transfer window. Give him the pre-season. Let him have his mark on this United team. He's dealing with Jose shite right now, and even before that. So just let him have his time. Next season, let's just give him a full year. Okay, if we're 16th at Christmas, we have to look at things. But of course, before then, I want to see players moved out. I want to see players brought in. We need that at this club. Oh, everybody who's taken the time to send in these comments, much appreciated. Please keep sending them in. I'm just going to stick around for a few more minutes, then I do have to get on today. But loving interacting with you guys, sharing the pain. Alex Rudd in the house moderating here, comments, Pep's biggest achievement is to get United to bite on Sanchez. You absolute scumbag, Alex. Glad we got that gooner off your hands, aren't you? Oh, so strange though with Alexis Sanchez, Alex, because he was literally awesome for Arsenal. Okay, maybe not quite towards the end, but still you expected him to be a lot better than he is right now for Manchester United coming in. But no, he's just been completely invisible, been awful for us, hasn't been a shadow of the player that he was for Arsenal, the match winner, the Premier League, player of the season candidate every single year that he was. He's nowhere near that. So, yeah, I mean, it's just funny that the effect that has happened to it. I don't really understand what's happened to it. How has he bottled it so bad? It's like a mental switch has gone. He just doesn't care. I think he's just like, right, this is my bumper contract of my career. I'm never going to get paid as much money as this ever again. Does it really matter if I really 100% perform? Thank you so much, Alex, for getting involved here. There's some Ollie out comments coming here, and I'm just absolutely bemused by them. Give him the start of the season, lads. Give him a pre-season, give him some money. Let him have his mark. Let him sign some players. Pep Guardiola's had a shitload of time over at City. I know he's won a Premier League title and stuff. But really, Champions League, he's not got... Pep Guardiola has got as far in the Champions League over the last few years than David Moyes did for United in that first season. So let's just have a little look at old Baldy over there. Do you know what I mean? Before you get on this case, anyway. James Moscrot comments, we need the women's team to play. They're absolutely bossing it. We could do with that. How could it be any worse? I'm not even sure if we'd have lost 4-0 today if we had the women playing against that Everton team, but maybe. Another super chat here from Gungshi. Thanks for getting involved here. Again, Gungers, he comments, bench these lazy pricks and play the youth like Greenwood, Gomez, Chong, etc. until the rest of them pull their fingers out. Where's the pride in playing for Manchester United? Great comment, Gungshi. Play the youth. Paul Pogba's on 300k a week. Should be on £300 a week. Play other players in there. Absolutely. You've got Angel Gomez. You've got Chong. Why not play these players? Absolutely. Dallo should be starting every single game. All these young lads. Get them in there. Blood them to the end of the season. Allow them to fight because that's what they will do. They won't play with the same nonchalant attitude as some of these prima donnas we've got. They're fighting to be professional footballers here. They're young, they're passionate, they're hungry. They've got something to prove. We've seen how effective McTominay's been in recent weeks. One of the most inexperienced players, but one of the best for us recently. Dallo, same thing. So if you give these players the opportunities, they will fight out there on the pitch to prove themselves as footballers, which is something these overpaid prima donnas like Sanchez and Pogba and people like that have already done, supposedly. They've already got their bumper contract, so they don't need to do that anymore. So they just do it when they want. Oh, thank you so much there, Gungshi, for your comment there, man. I agree, man. Bench those pricks big time. They're just useless, aren't they? You'd think by now they would have at least shown what it takes to be a United player. These players have had a lot of time at the club. People like Jones, people like Smalling, even people like Pogba now, Lukaku. They've had a fair bit of time to show it. They haven't done it. Oh, right, lads and lasses. I'm pretty much getting ready to wrap this video up here, but we do have a super chat here from Quintessential Clairvoyant, who comments and says, not all Ollie's fault, in my opinion. Very bad decisions from Ed. Ed Woodward, potato head upstairs. He's got a lot to answer for. We definitely do need big changes in the summer. If not him going out the door, then certainly a lot of these subpar players that are just not doing it for Manchester United and bringing in top quality players, which is obviously something that part of the club has to do. They've got to bring the players in. They've got to negotiate with these big clubs around the world. And frankly, we are going to be hindered now in the transfer window in the summer, or at least if we don't finish the season in top four, which is looking likely that we won't. Because, of course, these top players, I was just talking about Sergio Ramos earlier on, not realistically that we're going to sign Sergio Ramos or anything, just as an example of a top quality player who's a bit nasty and has leadership and, you know, he is passionate and a really good, obviously, all-round player. But, you know, if we... well, I've completely forgot what I was going to say, but that's what happens sometimes. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, Sergio Ramos, if we could get him in, that would obviously solve a lot of the problems at the back there. I don't know if that's what I was going to say. I completely forgot what I was saying at the start of that sentence, but that's what happens here sometimes, you know. Danny O commenter says we need 7 signings minimum. I 100% agree with you there, mate. We do. Too many of these players are not performing. Too many of these players have had way too much time. If we could just get really top quality players in, like spend 300 or 400 million, just go out there on a whim almost and do sign great players. You know, sign Sancho, sign Perisic, sign, you know, I don't know, Godin, sign frickin' Maguire. You know, there's lots of people we could just go out there and sign for significant amounts of money and get them to the club and hopefully improve the situation at the club with these quality players, because they are better players than what we've got right now. So yeah, I'm completely with you. We do need to get the checkbook out in the summer. Gungshi says the whole team looked like they were sleepwalking today. For F's sake, complete zombies out there. It was like the Walking Dead out there on the pitch at times. The only thing missing was limbs falling off. I thought Lukaku lost a finger at one point though. Jeffrey Mwenda says we need new players from next game. Let him play the reserves. They're better than this team. Oh yes, I think that should be the ending of this video, really, Jeffrey. And obviously people have echoed that throughout the video, and I agree. Between now and the end of the season, let's give these opportunities to some younger players, the likes of Chon, the likes of Gomez. You know, people like Pereira, Dallo, all these sorts of guys really should be given the time and given the opportunity to fight out there and prove themselves as professional footballers, because I'm more satisfied with the fight and hunger and desire out there that they will show on the pitch than I am these overpaid, underperforming prima donnas like the Lukaku's, Pogba's, Sanchez's, Matic's of this world, like those sorts of guys. So I'd love to see that. I'd love to see younger players given the opportunities now. What have we got to lose? These are obviously not the guys going forward. Smalling and Jones are never going to be Vidic and Ferdinand for us ever. So why waste our time? Move them on. Right, everybody, thanks so much for stopping by on the YouTube channel today. I've got to run now. I've just seen the time. But I do love interacting with you guys. I can't. Mark Sin comments for the super chat. Marry, shag, kill. Jose Moyes, LVG. Right, well, oh shit, this is the disgusting question to end on here, man. Marry Jose, kill Moyes, shag LVG. Sim comments, and to think Zinedine was available. Calm yourself down, okay? He's barely had the opportunity. At least he did save us and turn us around for a while. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. That's a disgraceful question at the end there. Thanks so much to everybody tuning in. Just a few shout-outs at the end here. Chilling Spree, The Music Fiend, Northern Nightmare, Man United, IB Avaled. All you guys, everybody who's tuned in, super chatted, commented, chucked a like on this video, interacted, shared, done whatever you've done to contribute to this live stream. Thank you so much for doing that today. You're a bunch of legends. Do us a favor before you go. You know what I'm going to say? Smash that like button on it. Subscribe to the channel if you're not new. If you are new to the channel. If you're not new to the channel, just stay subscribed. If you don't follow me on social media, head on over to Instagram. Follow me at Mr. Flying Pig HD. Also on Twitter and Facebook as well. But anyway, fucking calamity at Manchester United at the moment. Sort your freaking selves out. Mr. Woodward upstairs, it's time for you to meet your maker, lad. You have got to do the business in the window. Otherwise, it's time you went out of the club. Bring 7 to 12, 13 players in. Get rid of 13 to 13 players. And maybe we can actually do something next season. Maybe we can get the fight and the spirit and the desire back to Manchester United, because that's never going to be the case with these underperforming prima donna melt jobs that we've got right now at the club. This is the Pig on Flying Pig United. Thanks so much for stopping by on the channel. Have yourselves a good one. Take